This video presents a special lesson from Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors in the world, revealing 30 financial traps that are preventing you from achieving prosperity. The first lesson addresses the mistake of buying branded clothes and accessories in an attempt to appear wealthier. The fashion industry makes us believe that certain logos equate to status and wealth, but getting into debt to acquire these expensive items only demonstrates a confusion of priorities. Buying unnecessary things today may force you to sell essential ones in the future. A social experiment by documentarian Morgan Spurlock illustrated that people wearing designer clothes are treated more favorably, regardless of their true abilities or character, due to a common cognitive bias. However, as David Ramsey pointed out, we live in a society where we spend money we don't have by things we don't need and try to impress people who don't matter. True value lies in who we are, not in what we own. Another common mistake is resorting to high-interest loans to maintain an unsustainable lifestyle. Many young people use quick credits and credit cards to finance outings, gifts, and trips without considering the long-term consequences. According to a study by Harvard Business School, this practice is the leading cause of personal bankruptcy among people under 30. These individuals go into debt to keep up with the lifestyle of their peers, even if it means exceeding their financial limits. Personal finance expert Susie Orman reminds us that it is crucial to be honest with ourselves about what we can truly afford. It is not worth going into debt just to keep up appearances. It's better to learn to live within our means, save for occasional desires, and gradually build wealth. Neglecting savings and long-term investments is another financial trap. Many people postpone saving, believing they will have plenty of time to invest in the future. However, the key to building wealth, as illustrated in the book The Richest Man in Babylon, is to set aside a portion of each income and make it grow consistently. The power of compound interest is immense, but it requires an early start. Imagine two twins, Andrea and Beto, both 20 years old. Andrea starts investing 200 Brazilian reals per month in a fund with a return of 8% per year, while Beto only begins saving at age 40. Even though Beto invests twice as much as Andrea, he ends up with less than half of her wealth by the end of the period, simply because he started later. Another major mistake is not having a clear budget or strict control over expenses. As Winston Churchill said, an optimist sees an opportunity in every difficulty. But when it comes to personal finances, realism is key. Most people do not keep a formal record of their expenses, resulting in small financial leaks that add up to significant losses over time. Entrepreneurial expert Tim Ferriss recommends noting every financial movement for 30 days and then categorizing each expense as necessary, occasional, or dispensable. This helps identify where we are wasting money and how we can improve our financial control. Finally, we cannot ignore the consequences of not having an emergency fund. Unforeseen events like unexpected car repairs or medical expenses can happen at any time, and it's essential to be prepared with a reserve equivalent to 3 to 6 months of expenses. Unfortunately, many Brazilians don't even have 400 Brazilian reals available for emergencies, which forces them to resort to expensive financial alternatives, such as payday advances with high interest rates. Moreover, these habits often involve indirect costs, such as higher insurance premiums and strained relationships that can affect your financial stability. Paying for gym memberships, clubs, or services we don't use regularly is another common mistake. In a burst of motivation, many of us sign up for gyms or subscribe to sites that promise to get us in shape, unlock our potential, or make us experts in something. But over time, we usually lose the initial enthusiasm and end up paying month after month for something we barely remember. According to an analysis by TRM, a startup dedicated to detecting zombie expenses, the average American wastes $500 annually on subscriptions they don't use. Imagine what you could do with that extra money. As Paul Lepant, author of the blog Afford Anything, suggests, be brutally honest about the likelihood of using that service. If it's less than 50%, cancel it immediately. Neglecting preventative maintenance of your home, car, and other assets is another financial misstep. When money is tight, it may seem like a relief to postpone certain expenses, such as oil changes, roof waterproofing, or pipe inspections. Big mistake. A study by the Institute for Economics and Peace showed that for every dollar invested in risk prevention and mitigation, we save up to $7 in future major repairs. It's not about becoming obsessive, but rather budgeting appropriately for things like annual pet checkups, deep cleaning of the stove, or replacing air conditioner filters. These small acts significantly prolong the life of our assets. In the long run, it's cheaper to maintain than to replace. Wasting food due to overbuying or failing to plan weekly menus is another common issue. Going to the supermarket on an empty stomach is a recipe for disaster. Everything looks appealing, and we end up filling our carts with items we don't need or won't consume in time. As a result, a study by Cornell University revealed that food waste represents 25% of the average family's grocery budget. It's not just about wasted money. It's also about wasting increasingly scarce natural resources. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization estimates that having food waste would provide enough to feed 1 billion people. Something as simple as spending a few minutes planning weekly menus and sticking to a shopping list can make a huge difference. Not taking advantage of rewards programs or cashback on everyday purchases is a missed opportunity. In the hustle of daily consumption, few people take the time to examine the terms and conditions of their cards or the benefits of different stores. Yet this small effort can pay off in the long run. A report by Investor Group suggests that the average household could earn more than $770 annually just by capitalizing on loyalty programs. Whether in the form of points, miles, discounts, or cashback, almost all merchants offer incentives to retain their customers. The key is to concentrate your purchases at a few strategic locations that you regularly visit. As personal finance expert Ramit Sethi advises, focus on a few rewards programs that offer the most significant benefits for your lifestyle and spending habits. Falling for scams or fraudulent schemes due to a lack of research is a growing risk in the digital age. Investment opportunities are increasingly attractive and sophisticated. Double your money in a week. Earn passive income without lifting a finger. We are bombarded daily with miraculous business proposals that promise to solve our financial woes with just one click. But be cautious. There may be a cunning scammer on the other side. According to the Federal Trade Commission, fraud losses in the U.S. totaled over $800 million in 2022, a 30% increase from the previous year. Pyramid schemes, multi-level marketing, and Ponzi schemes are on the rise, making it crucial to cultivate skepticism. Follow Warren Buffett's golden rule. If you don't understand it, don't invest in it. Gambling is another dangerous pitfall. While an occasional card game with friends can be fun, excessive gambling can quickly become a financial and emotional drain. According to the National Gambling Commission, up to 6% of the U.S. adult population, about 10 million people, have issues with gambling, which drains their pockets and relationships. The trap of gambling lies in the fact that it is mathematically designed to favor the house in the long term. The more you play, the higher your chances of losing. With the rise of online sports betting and virtual casinos, it has never been easier to empty your bank account with just a few tempting clicks. Paying the minimum on credit card bills instead of clearing the balance, as much as possible, is another common trap. Falling under the spell of the green-eyed monster of credit is all too easy. You buy things on credit, accumulate miles, and delay payments. But as Robert Kiyosaki's bestseller Rich Dad Poor Dad asserts, credit cards are one of the most ingenious forms of modern-day slavery, and paying only the minimum month after month condemns us to a perpetual debt spiral. An analysis by creditcards.com showed that if you only pay the minimum required, save $50 on a $2,000 debt at an annual interest rate of 18%, it will take you about 7 years to pay off the balance. Strive to cover more than the minimum. Even paying an extra $50 a month could reduce the debt repayment time by about 3 years and save you more than $800 in interest. Not comparing prices or seeking more economical alternatives before purchasing is another financial misstep. In today's instant gratification society, we've gotten into the habit of buying things at the first place we see them or wherever is most convenient at the moment. But those extra minutes spent comparing prices and reading consumer reviews can lead to substantial savings over time. A McKinsey study found that the average shopper visits just 4 stores before making a purchase and often spends up to 20% more than the lowest available price for the same item. With today's online price comparison tools, there's no excuse for not doing a virtual search before clicking. Your wallet will thank you. Overspending on pets, hobbies, or hobbies that get out of control is another common financial mistake. No one is saying that owning a dog, cultivating an urban garden, or starting a rock band is a bad idea in and of itself. These passions are necessary for a balanced and fulfilling life. However, the problem arises when we get carried away buying toys, treats, equipment, or infrastructure for these hobbies. In the U.S. alone, the pet products and services industry is projected to reach $109 billion by 2024, according to a report by the American Pet Products Association. Do you really need to buy that custom outfit for your pet or enroll them in gourmet dog school? Remember that quality time with your pet is more valuable than material indulgence. Lastly, splurging on luxury vacations at the expense of your financial future is another misstep. We all deserve a break now and then, but that doesn't mean we should mortgage our future for a few days of indulgence. A 2022 survey by LendingTree revealed that 44% of Americans went into debt to finance their vacations, with an average debt of $1,564 charged to ever-tempting credit cards. While a well-planned vacation can create priceless memories and relieve stress, it's essential not to be seduced by the advertising pressure of the travel industry to spend more than we can afford just to impress others or match their experiences. These extravagant getaways often leave a burning hole in your budget and a financial hangover that can persist long after the tan has faded.